Welcome to studentlearning.in, your e-learning buddy.
Today we're going to be writing a very simple hello world program in Python. But first, let's see why Python is important. Uh, well, for starters, it's easy to use. It has a very simple syntax, meaning it's super easy to write and code in. Honestly, it's almost like English. You don't really need to do a lot. It's ubiquitous. Uh, it's used everywhere, or any field you can think of. It's used in biology, chemistry, physics, mathematics, and which brings me to my next reason. Math is really easy to do in Python, and let's be honest, computations are very important, especially if you're in research or anything like that. Uh, and let me just show you some of the cool stuff that you can do in Python. Like the code you see on the right side of your screen is basically a basic machine learning program. It might look complicated, but it's very easy, and it's just like 20 lines of code. You can already make a machine learning program because Python is that versatile. And this is a neural network. It's very simple to write, and even though it might look complicated now, but don't hesitate. It's fine. We'll go over that. So now let's look at how to install it. Maybe I'm on Linux. If you guys are on Linux, you can just open up a terminal and just type sudo apt-get install python. If you're using Ubuntu, I'm using Arch Linux, so I just say sudo pacman s python since I'm using Arch Linux. But yeah, once that's done, I think you should have Python installed. Uh, for Windows users, I mean, just go to the python.org downloads page and scroll down a little bit, and you should find a executable installer right here. And once you just download this and click on install, I think you should be good to go. Okay, assuming that you've installed Python now, let's move on. I've made a folder here called test. Uh, and just once you have Python installed, all you have to do is just open up a command prompt or terminal and type Python and hit enter. You should have the Python prompt up here, and now you can do anything you want. So as I said, we're going to do a very simple hello world program. So we're going to make the screen print hello world. So to do that, all you have to do is type print, open up a parentheses, semicolon, and type hello world, and voila, you should have the hello world code right there. Now, although this is good, we've actually done what we wanted to do, but that's not it. We actually want to write a code, right? Like we want to write it in a file and then save it somewhere. So to do that, we need something that's called a text editor. And the best example of a text editor is Notepad. Even though I highly recommend that you don't use Notepad, it's still a text editor. And it's the most basic one, so it doesn't do anything special. Like for example, I have a text editor here that's called Vim, and if I open up a file, it highlights the syntax for me automatically, and it indents the code. The spacing right here, it does that automatically for me, and it shows the line numbers and everything, which is super helpful. So I advise you get a good text editor. I'm on Linux, so I'm using Vim, which is a default text editor on most Linux systems. But if you're on Windows, I think this is a good recommendation. Sublime Text. This is what I used to use when I was on Windows. It's a pretty good text editor. It does everything that Vim does. It indents the code. It shows the line numbers, and it's pretty decent. It looks good too. So I think you should go ahead with this if you're a Windows user. All right, so let's create a new file. I'm just going to say vim test.py. This is a test.py is the .py is the acronym, the format for Python files. So every Python file you open would be having a extension of .py. Anyway, so now we want to write a code that every time it's executed has to print hello world, which is simple. We write exactly the same thing we wrote on the terminal. We just write print. I'm sorry, it's not on insert mode. Print, and as you can see, the syntax is highlighted right here. We open up a parentheses, we open up a double quote, and then write hello world. And we can also write something else if you want. Print this is my first Python program. Okay, this \n right here is basically, sorry, my bad. It's basically saying that go to a new line. It's okay, you don't have to worry about that. Anyway, now let's go ahead and save this. And as you can see, there's our test.py. Now to execute this file, all we do is type python test.py, and there you go. That's your first Hello World program. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned for more Python videos.
Thank you so much for watching. Please leave your questions in the comment section down below and do like, share and subscribe to Student Learning.